Hello students. Since some audio issues were reported in the video which was posted earlier from almost 9 minutes onwards, I'm just uploading a new video as a continuation of the previous video. Please see that you watch the contents of the previous video of the same heading up to 9 minutes, and thereafter we'll continue. So hope it will do. So what we are doing was that we are trying to find out an expression for the probability that a system A in the grand canonical ensemble, which is in contact with a particle energy reservoir, is found at any given instant in a macro state with nr number of particles and es value of energy, and which we denoted as PRS. And we have seen that PRS is proportional to the number of microstates of the reservoir having number of particle nr prime and energy es prime, and which can be written as omega PRS is proportional to omega prime, a function of nr prime and es prime, and nr prime and es prime can be rewritten in terms of n naught and e naught as per equation number 1. So it becomes PRS is proportional to omega prime of n naught minus nr and e naught minus es, which we have just given as equation number 3 here. And now you know this particular equation number 3 can be expanded using Taylor series. So here you can see there are two variables, one is nr and the other is what, es. So it's just like a Taylor expansion for two variables. So for example, if you take the variables to be x and y, the Taylor expansion for f of xy can be represented as about the point A and B. So f of xy is represented as, you can write, this is almost of the form f of a plus h, and b plus k. So if you write x and y as a plus h and b plus k, then that is equal to the value of the function at the point AB. We are expanding the function about the point A and B. So it is f of a b plus the first one, that is what, which is the interval there. The interval there is h. So we can say h into dou f by the partial derivative, the first derivative, dou f with respect to what, dou x. Since it is a two variable expansion, so I am using a bracket here, h into dou f by dou x, plus the other one is k into dou f with respect to dou y, evaluated at what, the point AB, plus etc., the higher order derivative. So this is the Taylor expansion in two variables. Now since we are just neglecting the contribution of higher powers here, higher powers contribution being negligibly small, you can just now compare this expansion with what, equation number 3. So you can see that instead of f of a plus h and b plus k, or f of xy, you have got omega prime. In place of f of xy, you have got omega prime. So x is nr prime and y is what, es prime, which we have rewritten as a plus h and b plus k form, a plus h and b plus k form in equation number 3. So on comparing, you can see that a is equal to, in place of a you have got n naught, so a is equal to n naught. So h is equal to minus nr, so h equal to minus nr. So in n naught minus nr, that is of the form a plus h. Then second one is b plus k. So this is the term which corresponds to b plus k, e naught minus es. So b is equal to e naught, b is equal to e naught, and k is equal to minus es. So using these values, let's expand the quantity omega prime using Taylor series. Now hope you remember we told that omega prime being a very large number for statistical systems, instead of directly expanding omega prime, we will be expanding logarithm of omega prime as a Taylor series. Okay, as I told you that taking logarithm of a very big number will make that number too small, okay, or it will make a number too comfortable for mathematically analyzing it. So it's just like I told you that it is just like taking logarithm of a number is like compressing the number, right? So instead of expanding omega prime, we will be expanding the log of omega prime, and the information is not lost anywhere. So let's proceed on. So we are going to expand the log of omega prime. So therefore, thus we can continue. Thus log of omega prime, which is expressed as a function of n naught minus nr and e naught minus es. Okay, so it's equal to the first term. What is first term? F of ab. F of ab. So f of ab will be what here? Log of, right? F equal to log omega prime. So it is log of omega prime at a and b. What is a and b? Okay, a and b are n naught and what? You can see that n naught and e naught are the equilibrium values or constant values there about which we are expanding it. So it is n naught, e naught. So that is a and b. Now, so what will be the next term? It will be plus, right? Plus h into dou f by dou x, right? H will be equal to minus nr. So plus will become minus. So minus nr into dou by dou x. So what is variable here? The variable here is n prime. Okay, n prime and nr are the variables. So it will be dou by dou n prime, because the function is omega prime. Dou by dou n prime of log of omega prime. That is our f, log of omega prime, evaluated at n prime is equal to n naught, right? So minus, instead of plus it will be again minus, because it will be k into dou f by dou y. So in place of k we have identified it is minus es. So due to that it will be minus, okay, es. So minus es into the derivative dou by dou e prime. Okay, dou by dou e prime, that is in the place of y, dou by dou e prime of log of omega prime evaluated about e prime is equal to e naught, plus etc and the higher terms are truncated, right? So now you can see that n naught and e naught, which represents the total number and total energy of the system plus reservoir as a whole, they are both are constants. Okay, so we have seen from the equation that n naught and e naught are constants as per equation number 1. Okay, so we can take log of function omega prime of n naught e naught also will be a constant. So you can treat that one as a constant. So I'm just writing that one as such. So that is equal to log omega prime n naught e naught, which is treated as a constant. Then see, you have to recall, do you remember what is this factor equal to? Dou by dou e prime. So what is this factor equal to? Dou by dou e prime of log omega prime. Hope you remember from our basic thermodynamical calculations we are done in the beginning of our statistical calculations. We have seen that dou by dou e of log omega was defined as beta. Dou by dou e, beta was defined as dou by dou e of log omega while discussing see what you call thermal equilibrium, condition for thermal equilibrium or contact between statistics and thermodynamics in the very beginning. So we have seen that the condition is beta 1 equal to beta 2, where beta equal to dou by dou e of log of omega, right? And so this is beta. Similarly, you can see that dou by dou n of log of omega prime, that is nothing but our what you call alpha. Okay, so that is equal to minus mu by kt. Alpha was proved to be equal to minus mu by kt. So just you can see that I'm rewriting this particular thing. So that is equal to minus, there is already a minus there. Okay, so here there is a minus, and what remains there is dou by dou n prime of log of this quantity, that is nothing but minus mu by kt. So that is minus of minus mu by kt. So there is already a minus, I am putting another minus here. So it is equal to minus of minus, okay, minus mu by kt, and the other one is actually beta. Okay, so beta is equal to what? Beta is nothing but Here it is multiplied with the NR. Of course, this NR has to be written here. NR is there. Then here beta is equal to 1 by kT. So there is a minus beta into, or 1 by kT I can write. Let me write that one as beta is always inverse temperature 1 by kT. So it is 1 by kT into, what is that? ES. So that is the thing. So now which I can write this one as what? Okay, this is a constant, right? So this one is a constant. So this is a constant. So I can write log of this particular thing is equal to the constant. So some constant plus what? Mu by kT into NR, right? Mu by kT into NR. You can avoid this step, of course, but for clarity I'm writing that minus what? 1 by kT into ES. So this is what you are going to get. So let me call it some continuous number. Let me say this is equation number 4 as per our continuous numbering. Now this is log of that quantity. But you know that we are interested in finding out the probability PRS, that our system is found in a state with the energy ES and number of particle NR. So PRS, as it was defined, it is proportional to not log of omega, but it is proportional to omega prime. So it is proportional to omega prime, yeah, which is a function of N naught and what? NR, and E naught minus what? ES. So that will be equal to, what you have to do? You have to just raise the RHS of equation number 4 to exponential. So it will be equal to exponential, or E raised to mu by kT into NR minus ES by kT, minus ES by kT. Okay, so that is the expression that we are using. Now you can just rewrite this one if you want. Before putting it as an equation, we can rewrite this one. That is PRS, which we want to derive PRS, the probability that is proportional to. Okay, so here I can just write this is proportional to, right? Because there is a constant. So the constant can be written as proportional to, not equal to. So PRS is once again proportional to E raised to this what you call mu by kT is actually minus alpha, or alpha is equal to minus mu by kT. That's what you have seen in the contact or further contact between what is that? See, the statistics and thermodynamics topic, alpha equal to minus mu by kT and beta is equal to 1 by kT. Okay, so on substituting that, what you will get? You'll be getting E raised to minus alpha NR minus beta ES. Minus alpha NR minus beta ES. And we call this one as equation number 5. So where alpha is equal to minus mu by kT and beta equal to 1 by kT. Now you know that this is probability PRS, but we need to make the probability to be normalized. Okay, so on normalization, what do you have to do? How do you normalize? But you know that the total probability that the system is found in one state, okay, in any of the states is to be equal to 1. So I can write sum over all possible states, sum over RS of PRS must be equal to 1, since PRS is the probability, the total probability for the system to be found in any of the accessible states should be equal to 1. So on doing this one, what you will get, so which means that sum over RS is not sum over RS, then E raised to minus alpha NR minus beta ES. Okay, so that should be equal to what? 1. Is right? That will be equal to 1. Now we can substitute for that PRS. Okay, sorry, I have to do the other way, right? Just a moment. What I have to do is that I have to rewrite the equation here. Like what I have to do? So let me write this one. So PRS, I can modify this. So what will be PRS equal to? PRS will be equal to a constant into. So from here I can write PRS is equal to, this is equal to some constant into E raised to minus alpha NR minus beta ES, right? So in order to evaluate this constant, you can just use what? The normalization condition here, right? That's what we are actually doing. So I have to use this normalization condition. So instead of substituting the value, I'm just substituting it here. So this gives that sum over r es. For PRS, you have to substitute C into e raised to minus alpha nr minus beta es, that is equal to 1, right? Therefore, I can say what is the value of the proportionality constant C? C will be equal to, C can be taken outside the summation, that is equal to 1 upon or 1 divided by sum over r es e raised to minus alpha nr minus beta es. So that will be the value of what? C. We call it as equation number 6. Now I'll be substituting the value of C back to equation number 5. Back to equation number 5 with this C. Okay. So what will be PRS finally? You'll be getting PRS is equal to, therefore, the probability PRS is equal to C into. So instead of C, I'll be writing 1 upon. Okay. So the numerator is e raised to minus alpha nr minus beta es whole divided by, okay, sum over all accessible states, sum over rs, the same quantity, that is e raised to minus alpha nr minus beta es. So this is usually expressed, okay, the same equation can be again written as e raised to minus alpha nr minus beta es divided by, I'm introducing a symbol here, the curly letter Z. Okay, so this is my final equation 7, and this equation number 7 gives the probability that the system A in grand canonical ensemble is found to be in a state with nr number of particles and energy Es at any instant of time. And this equation is called the Gibbs distribution in grand canonical ensemble. This is known as the Gibbs distribution. Gibbs distribution in grand canonical ensemble. In grand canonical ensemble. Okay, and the quantity that is expressed or identified as Z, where the quantity that is identified as Z is equal to sum over rs e raised to minus alpha nr minus beta es in the exponential is called the grand partition function. That is known as the grand partition function. Grand partition function of the system. Now it's always worth that you make a comparison between the corresponding equation in canonical ensemble and microcanonical ensemble. Okay, so hope you remember in canonical ensemble, I think that I will be doing it in the next slide. So in canonical ensemble, we obtained the probability that the system at any given instant is found to be in a state with energy ER was obtained as PR is equal to e raised to minus beta ER divided by sum over R, sum over all accessible states, e raised to minus beta ER. So this was the expression, which we rewrote as e raised to minus beta ER divided by some Q or QNVT. Okay, where this Q was named as, or Q was identified as sum over R e raised to minus beta ER, that is sum over all states, accessible states of the system. We called it as the canonical partition function. And we have seen that all the thermodynamics of the system can be obtained from the statistical quantity defined as the canonical partition function for any given system in thermal equilibrium, or which is considered as a member of the canonical ensemble. Right? So we have done all derivations, and also we have finally did something, some discussion on the energy fluctuations of the canonical ensemble, and we have seen that is negligibly small in the thermodynamic limit. Now coming to the case of grand canonical ensemble that we have just completed, the corresponding equation was PR, S. Why there are two symbols? Because in grand canonical ensemble, which represents a system considered to be an open one, where both energy as well as number of particles of the system can vary, both NR as well as ES were variable. Okay, so we have to calculate the probability that at any given instant of time our system is found in a state with the number of particles NR and energy ES. So both the conditions has to be satisfied. The system at a given time is found in a state with an energy ES as well as the number of particles at that time should be equal to NR. So there are double constraints there, and we obtained this one from the recent derivation that PRS is equal to, please go on finding or comparing with the equation for canonical ensemble, e raised to minus alpha nr. So you can just see that this is an extra term that appears in the distribution, then minus beta es. Maybe here we have used er, here instead of r we are using the subscript s. Okay, that we are doing only to do justice with the notations used by Patria, which is our book for study. Okay, otherwise you could have used er here and ns there. There is no trouble at all. Okay, so this is the same term that appeared in the canonical ensemble, divided by, with an extra term of alpha nr, divided by sum over all r and s values of the numerator, that is e raised to minus alpha nr minus what, beta es. I think you are able to compare and find that the only extra term that is there in the case of grand canonical ensemble is this term, e raised to minus alpha nr. That is an additional term that has appeared because of what? The particle exchange is permitted in grand canonical ensemble. So which we have written as what? E raised to minus alpha nr minus beta es divided by z. Okay, so in place of capital Q, we are using Z. And what is Z there? Where Z is nothing but the denominator quantity, sum over Rs, e raised to of minus alpha nr minus what? Beta es. And we named this one as what? The grand canonical partition function. So you can see the status of QNVT is same as that of what? Z in grand canonical ensemble formalism. Now one more, in order to make the picture complete, okay, so what we are doing is that in the ideal case of microcanonical ensemble also, we could obtain similar quantities. So in the microcanonical ensemble, we obtain the probability PR is equal to 1 divided by omega. PR was obtained, the similar equations. See that these three equations, that is what you have to understand. These three equations what I have written in the three corresponding ensembles are equivalent. Equivalent means that their status is the same. Okay, so here you can see that in microcanonical ensemble, you know, all systems are sharing the same energy and the same number of particles. Their macro state is NVE, is not NVE. So means both energy, number of particles, both are constant here. In canonical ensemble, you know, that is a NVT ensemble. So the number of particles is same, but energy is varying. So you can see that the energy dependence of the probability has appeared in the expression here. So now in grand canonical ensemble, which is representing an open system, you know, both energy and number of particles are varying. So you can see that both the energy and number of particles has appeared in the probability equation. So you know, therefore in microcanonical ensemble, you can see that where both energy and number of particles are remaining constant, neither energy nor number of particles is appearing in the numerator. So it will be e raised to, so both the terms are 0. You can take e raised to 0 is 1. So that way you can say that PR is equal to 1. And why this PR is equal to 1 by omega? Because we are seeing that a system in microcanonical ensemble is obeying what is known as what? The equilibrium probabilities, that the probability that any given system belonging to microcanonical ensemble to be found in a particular given state is same, equal. So all microstates are equally probable for a system having same energy. Okay, so that is why PR is equal to 1 upon omega. So every system has got the same probability. Okay, 1 by omega. So if there are R systems, every system will be having what? Same probability 1 by omega. And so this omega, which we earlier had defined as thermodynamic probability, is also getting the role of microcanonical partition function. So omega can be also can be named as the microcanonical partition function. So just I use this one to compare the three statistical quantities and try to understand that. Okay, canonical ensemble, whatever was the role of omega, that role of omega is taken up by Q in microcanonical ensemble, whatever was the role of omega, thermodynamic probability, it was taken up by Q in canonical ensemble, and that is taken up by capital Z in what is known as grand canonical ensemble. So omega il ninnum S equal to k log omega vechittu entropy kandupidichunnu, ക്യൂയിൽ നിന്നും നമ്മൾ അതുപോലെ എന്താണ് എ ഈക്വൽ ടു മൈനസ് കെ ടി ലോഗ് ക്യു എൻ വി ടിയിൽ നിന്നും നമുക്ക് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുന്നു. അതുപോലെ നമുക്ക് സെഡിൽ നിന്നും എന്താണ് സിസ്റ്റത്തിന്റെ തെർമോഡൈനാമിക്സിലേക്ക് ഒരു എന്താണ് വിൻഡോ എളുപ്പമാണ്. സോ ദീസ് ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റീസ് വിച്ച് ആർ നെയിംഡ് as the partition function of the given system acts as a bridge between the statistics and the thermodynamics of the system. Okay, so remember this equation what you have derived just now is known as the Gibbs distribution, whereas this distribution is usually known as the Boltzmann distribution. So the canonical ensemble distribution is known as Boltzmann distribution, and the other ensemble distribution, grand canonical ensemble distribution, is known as the Gibbs distribution in the terminology. Okay, so please read on this one, and we will discuss the derivation of the same Gibbs distribution by the method of most probable values in the next lecture. Okay, which we will be where we will be using the method of Lagrange's undetermined multipliers. So before watching that lecture, I advise you strongly to watch the derivation of the Boltzmann distribution in canonical ensemble using the same methodology, so that you will recall that or you will be revising that topic, and whatever contents that I was telling you there about Lagrange's undetermined multiplier method will be useful for you to understand this topic well. അപ്പോൾ ഞാനിത് പറയുകയാണ്, മനസ്സിലാക്കുക, നമ്മൾ സെയിം ഡെറിവേഷൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സെയിം ഇക്വേഷൻ വാട്ട് വി കോൾഡ് as Gibbs distribution in grand canonical ensemble ഇനി മെത്തേഡ് ഓഫ് മോസ്റ്റ് പ്രോബബിൾ ഡിസ്ട്രിബ്യൂഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന വഴിയായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യാൻ പോവുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇതേ മെത്തേഡ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ലഗ്രാഞ്ചസ് അൺഡിറ്റർമിൻഡ് മൾട്ടിപ്ലയേഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന മെത്തേഡ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ കനോണിക്കൽ എൻസംബിളിൻ്റെ പ്രോബബിലിറ്റി ഡിസ്ട്രിബ്യൂഷൻ, അതായത് ബോൾട്സ്മാൻ ഡിസ്ട്രിബ്യൂഷൻ ഓൾറെഡി ഡിറൈവ് ചെയ്തിരുന്നു. അവിടെ ഞാൻ ലഗ്രാഞ്ചസ് അൺഡിറ്റർമിൻഡ് മൾട്ടിപ്ലയേഴ്സ് എവിടെയാണ് ഉപയോഗിക്കുക, അതിൻ്റെ പ്രിൻസിപ്പിൾസ് ഒക്കെ പറഞ്ഞു തന്നിരുന്നു. നിങ്ങൾ അടുത്ത വീഡിയോ കാണുന്നതിന് മുൻപ് ഐ സജസ്റ്റ് ദാറ്റ് നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യാം, ഇതിനു മുൻപ് കനോണിക്കൽ എൻസംബിളിൽ കണ്ട ആ വീഡിയോ ഒന്നുകൂടി കാണുക, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒന്ന് വായിച്ചതിന് ശേഷം മാത്രം അടുത്ത ലെക്ചർ കേൾക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കും നല്ലത്. ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു.